It is a crucial day on the campaign trail for the Republicans seeking to replace President Barack Obama. Money and the momentum it generates will capture some attention on this third quarter fundraising deadline, which could make or break many campaigns. Now, here's a snapshot of the primary race as it stands now, with the average of recent national polls. The composite numbers show that Texas Governor Rick Perry leads the pack with just over 27%, followed by Mitt Romney at nearly 23%. All the other candidates trailing behind in single digits, including our next guest. I'm joined live now by one of them, Texas Congressman Ron Paul in Manchester, New Hampshire this morning. Congressman, you're up there for Politics and Eggs at St. Anselm's. Welcome to the morning show. Glad you're with us.
Thank you. Nice to be with you.
All right, today's a big day for a lot of people. Now, we gave those national numbers, but to be fair, in New Hampshire, you do very well. You're tracking second to Mitt Romney up there, and you compare very favorably to Obama. Tell us why that's the good news for you.
Well, of course, you know, New Hampshire and as well as Iowa are really the key states, so what is done on a national poll doesn't have as much significance. But even on the national level, we do better than some of the polling that has been reported. So I think New Hampshire is, the first real primary race, and we are doing very well here, and the momentum keeps building, so we're quite happy with the way things are going.
Even if you do well in New Hampshire, there are some who say that you're marginalized on the national front because you're out of touch with Republicans with some of your stands, talking about abolishing the United Nations, for example. How are you going to square that with appeal on the national platform?
Well, I think the appeal is to the American people. Yes, there may be some in the Republican leadership that still believes in the status quo, and they believe in the same foreign policy and the same monetary policy, but that's not what grassroots America is talking about right now. And then when they do the polling with my name against Obama, even in Florida, I'm either tied or a point ahead. And that should be the significant news, not some of these other polling. But no, the American people are with us on these issues. The large majority now want us to look into the Federal Reserve. The large number of people now are talking about bringing our troops home and ending these wars. So I think, yes, you could point out there are some Republican leaders who would like to find another candidate. They keep hustling around to try to find somebody to neutralize what we have been doing. But time will tell, because I believe I'm closer to where the people are.
Well, they're not looking for other candidates just to neutralize you, to be fair. I think the Republicans seem desperate to have someone who can beat Barack Obama. You seem to trail very well, or you track very well against Obama in New Hampshire. Why does that work in New Hampshire and not nationally?
Well, I think it has worked when you put my name just right up against Obama. You know, Florida is quite a different state from New Hampshire, and we do very, very well. So I don't think we could assume that when my name is up against Obama that I don't do well in the other part of the country. I only do well here in New Hampshire. But, of course, with New Hampshire, we've been working very, very hard, and they happen to have a free spirit here that is very appealing to what I've been talking about.
Romney's going to report that he's made $10 to $12 million in the recent quarter in terms of fundraising. Your fundraising is up a little bit. Is it up enough to get momentum for you?
Oh, I would think so. So I think for us, the key to it is to raise enough money to campaign, and we will. I don't know the exact number, but I think that one of the interesting things that somebody, I hope, checks it out for me is how many donors we have and what the average donation is, and compare it to some of the other candidates that will have a lot more money when they do all the bundling and all the special interests come together and donate the money. So I think we're going to do quite well. And I think when you get large numbers of people donating, that means a lot more than if you get a few people, buying influence. So I think we're going to be able to compete quite well.
Ralph Nader recently came out saying that he would support your candidacy. Jesse Ventura offered himself up as a vice presidential partner to you. Do you like that idea?
Well, it's interesting because I think it certainly shows that the appeal that I have and our campaign has is broad-based, that it isn't to a narrow group of people in the Republican primary, and this is why I think we have a lot of strength. It's challenging in the Republican primary, but when progressives are coming out and independents are coming out and saying, yes, we can support, Ron Paul, I think this opens up a lot of people's eyes and say, well, what is this message that has such broad appeal? So I sort of enjoy that when others say, we ought to look at Ron Paul and his politics.
How do you feel about an ABC News poll that says 27% of Republicans just don't like you? And then you hear all of the push for someone like Chris Christie. The Republicans seem enthusiastic about getting anybody out there, and they aren't pulling behind you.
Well, I mean, it's challenging, but over the years, the people who know me, the one thing I was very proud of in my district, where the people knew me best, is my negatives were always so low. And it didn't mean that they always agreed with everything, but my positives were very high in trust and in character and what I stood for and why I lived up to my promises. But the negatives were very low. So I think that indicates I really need to let the people know more about me, and then that's what campaigning is all about. So I'm not too concerned about that, but I don't think I should ignore it either.
All right, folks up in New Hampshire have a chance to get to know you up close and personal at the Politics and Eggs breakfast at St. Anselm happening in the next hour. Thanks for joining us on The Morning Show.
Thank you.